want to talk a little bit about my daughter Rhonda's cat. For a long time, she didn't have any pets here in Tahoe, with bears, and coyotes, and stuff. And I guess you just can't have a pet outside, or the coyotes will get it. But some of her friends knew how much she really likes to have pets and said, "We've got the right cat for you." And that cat is this cat, Handsome Charlie. Now, Handsome Charlie is no ordinary size cat. He's not too sure he wants to be on camera either. In fact, I can't get him on camera. There he is. There, Charlie. Look at down there. Look over there.
What's going on in here?
Charlie is one big yellow, little bit striped, patterned cat. And I'll tell you what, Charlie weighs about 15 pounds. And you talk about a cat that is a cat, this cat's a cat. Not as big as the one that somebody sent me as an example of an Oklahoma kitty that was an actual mountain lion. But for a domestic cat, he's a big, big, pretty cat. Well, Rhonda got him. Didn't have him very long before she realized that she'd been feeding birds and squirrels for years. Had a lot of little guys living around in her trees and under her decks. Handsome Charlie liked the arrangement. But kind-hearted Rhonda, she couldn't hardly stand that. One pet was eating her, not exactly pets, but her friends that she'd been feeding for years. So it wasn't very long she quit feeding them. Of course, in the meantime, Charlie pretty much solved the problem. There weren't hardly any to feed because he's a hunter, a good hunter. Well, he cleaned out the local population. She stopped feeding them to attract others in. Rhonda lives right here by the forest. No problemo for Charlie. Charlie took off out into the forest. Didn't eat very much of his dog food or cat food here at the house because he was doing a good job of hunting, controlling the population of the squirrels and ground squirrels and whatever else. Cats are amazing at catching birds. Well, in the meantime, Rhonda had gotten a doggy door, big enough door for this cat to come in and out, and thought that was a good arrangement, and it was for quite a while. But then a raccoon evidently smelled something good in that house and found out that that door was not too bad. It'll work for a raccoon just like it will work for a human. So all of a sudden she's got raccoons in her house. That's not a good thing. So Charlie doesn't have a doggy door anymore, and raccoons don't come in the house anymore. I wondered if Charlie would take on a raccoon, and I guess it never just came to a face-off for Rhonda to find out. But I bet the raccoon was not going to make a challenge on a cat that weighs 15 pounds, although some raccoons probably weigh close to that. When they had the fire here a few months ago, as the fire was started, Charlie was out on one of his hunts in the forest. And in the meantime, Rhonda has seen some of the fire and knows that there's a possibility of a real fire threatening her house because she said she looked right straight out across her front lawn, and right over the hill she could see a tree go up in flames. And she just knew she was going to lose her house. So she already had started packing up some stuff to move out before the officials came by and announced mandatory evacuation. In the meantime, she's calling, "Charlie, Charlie, Charlie." No Charlie. But she goes ahead and packs up, and I joke and tell everybody I can prove my daughter has rocks for brains. because, yeah, she took some family pictures and a few things like that and put them in the car. Her old motorhome. She left her Passat car in the garage. And then she put rocks in that motorhome, lots of rocks. That just blows my mind. I said, honey, for crying out loud, rocks won't burn. Yeah, Dad, she said, but the insurance company would never believe how much money I've got invested in those rocks. And she said, I've videoed what's in the house, and they'll pay on anything I lose in the house, but they wouldn't pay on those rocks. So I was just protecting my investment. Well, okay. She got a lot invested in rocks. I would never pay a dime for well, yeah, a dime or 50 cents. I paid a few times for some pretty polished rock. The one I just brought up here to her from our home in Arizona, she had bought it on her way to see us when she stopped off at Quartzsite, where they have big rock shows. That sucker weighed, I'm going to say, 150 to 175 pounds, a huge geode with blue crystals on the inside. Well, anyway, Charlie has amazed her in some other ways. She saw him one time leave her upstairs, cut across from one part of the house to the garage, and take a leap of about 15 feet from one garage eave to the other one. Scared her to death. Apparently no problem for Charlie. Charlie is kind of hard to keep out of the bedroom that we're assigned to here in this house. In fact, we've taken steps. He came in here a few nights ago, dang near crowded me out of bed. And you think you can push a 15-pound cat out of the bed with your foot that doesn't want to be pushed out? Forget about it. So now when we go to bed, we put a suitcase against the door so that Charlie knows where the boundary is, and the boundaries, we've got our own border patrol. We've got a fence that works. He doesn't come in and get into our bed anymore. Well, that's enough on Charlie. But she loves that cat dearly, and I think the cat loves her. He's a little unhappy. She's now added a dog. I think he'd just as soon have been the kingpin with a no competition whatsoever.